The following is a presentation of Senator Basketball on Salem's 1220 WSLM, your home for exclusive coverage of the West Washington Senators, the Hoosiers, the Boilermakers, the Reds, and the Colts. Now, let's go courtside and join the broadcast team for our Senator tip-off pregame show.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome inside the friendly confines of Dr. T. Kermit Tower Gymnasium as tonight Coach Sullivan and the Senators prepare for their home opener against Trinity Lutheran. The Cougars come to town with just a 1-4 mark and are coming off a tough loss at home to Southwestern Shelbyville last night. Meanwhile, the Senators will try to bounce back and go on the rebound after suffering a tough season-opening loss on the road to conference foe Paoli last night. Tonight it's the Senators and the Cougars in a battle of familiar sectional 62 rivals, and your countdown to the tip starts now. Hello again, everyone. I'm Misty Jones, and joining me in just a moment for tonight's broadcast of Senator Basketball on Salem's 1220 will be my sidekick and broadcast partner, Senator Football's own Mark Gibson. Well, there's no way to really sugarcoat last night's game and season opener for the Senators on the road. To put it plainly, it was ugly. It became easy to see early on that the Senators were taking the car out for the first test drive of the year against a very battle-tested group of Rams who had already been in 3 tough games of their own. The legs and conditioning just simply were not there for West Washington, and it became very apparent on the offensive and defensive ends the longer that first half seemed to string on. The Senators managed just 1 field goal late in the game in the third quarter, and then just 1 as well in the fourth. So fatigue by halftime starting to set in, and it really started to take its toll on the legs offensively in that second half of play as Paoli cruised to a 55-33 win over West Washington in that season opener for the Senators. And as I welcome in my colleague and broadcast partner, Mark Gibson, tonight, this is going to be about what kind of composure, what kind of team mentality do we have early on in the season. It's hard enough to start a season with a lot of things on their plate as far as physically getting into shape, an emotional side of things with everything that's went on. But we're going to see what kind of composure and what kind of mental toughness we have here tonight, because we talked about it, not letting Paoli beat us twice in one weekend. So we'll see if they can bounce back on the back end of this double dip. But Coach, someone simply has to take the reins and be the catalyst for us offensively and step up and be in that defining leadership role on the defensive end of the floor. Who do you see stepping up to kind of carry the torch at both ends here tonight?
Well, that is a great question. Obviously, last night we were very passive at times, especially on the offensive side of the floor. It carried over to the defense as well some, but offensively you could just tell at times we were very passive. And you're right. Who's going to step up for this team? For most teams, that's your point guard. And that would be our floor general, Holden Bousman, which I see throughout the year. You're going to see him as we get further and further along in the season. I'm sure Holden will be the guy that kind of runs the show for us, just like he was last year. But obviously with things going on like that, he just wasn't real vocal last night, which he's never real vocal. But I think the other guys though, these guys have played so long together that I don't think it has to be just your point guard, just Holden. I think, at times Harrison's going to have to step up, being that senior leader in certain stretches. At times Parker, like last night, we talked about Parker Green being really passive last night. He needs to step up a little bit, and he's capable of doing it as well. Are there going to be stretches where we can look to Jake Strange down low and have him put us on his back? I think these guys have played so much basketball together that you shouldn't have to just put it on one guy. I think, obviously with depth a factor, we're going to need all those guys at certain points in the season, at certain points in individual games to step up. They can't just sit back and look for Holden to lead us, which Holden is very capable of doing that, and I guarantee we will see that at times this year. But I think with the depth the way it is, with a lot of new guys coming off that bench, we need all 5 of those guys. And I didn't mention Chase Farmer. Obviously he's more of a facilitator and rebounder, but you can have defensive guys and rebounders lead you through stretches as well. So it's gonna have to be a team effort, I think.
Well, as for the Cougars, they've certainly stumbled out of the gate to just a 1-4 record, as I said, taking 1 on the chin last night at home. But Coach Michael McBride, in his first year as the head coach of We also want to thank our sponsors for this season that include Eddie Gilstrap Motors, bringing you our Senator pregame show all season long. McDonald's will bring you the halftime report, and Ace Hardware will be your postgame sponsor all season long, as well as Papa John's, Salem Crossing, Meadowview Healthcare, Rodney Bruff Insurance, America Flea Market, Ernstberger Orthodontics, Schneck Medical, Northwood, and Hoosier Uplands. When we come back, we'll be joined by Senator head coach Clayton Sullivan to get his thoughts on tonight's game with the Cougars here in the Senators' home opener for the year. But first, we'll pause 60 seconds and hear a word from the Indiana High School Athletic Association. You're listening to the Senators tonight on Salem's 1220.
You want to feel goosebumps? Then purchase a ticket to an athletic event at your local high school. You'll be making a lasting difference in your community. Buying a ticket to an IHSAA game or meet helps ensure your school has the funding it needs to operate. New uniforms, safer equipment, transportation. Your ticket purchase helps to pay for it all. You're also helping today's student athletes learn the life skills they need to get better jobs and become better leaders. Plus, you'll see them do some amazing things.
Did you see that? Oh man, I think I just got goosebumps.
Me too.
High school sports. We pay, they play, everybody wins. This message brought to you by the IHSAA, encouraging you to go to a high school game this week and help build a future that benefits us all.
Welcome back as we continue on with more of this edition of our Senator Tip-Off pregame show. Senators on the back end of a double-dip weekend as they open up the home portion of their schedule against the Trinity Lutheran Cougars here tonight in the friendly confines. But the Senators are coming off of a tough one on the road last night at Paoli to open up the season. They fall 55-33, and we're joined now on our Senator Tip-Off pregame show, as always, by Senator head coach Clayton Sullivan. Coach, you've had about 20 hours or so to digest this one. Just talk a little bit about your thoughts reflectively. I know it was tough last night after the game, but maybe some things you've been able to see on film today or last night, maybe some silver linings from last night's game.
Yeah, last night was obviously disappointing, but sleep on it. Got up today, went through, watched the film, broke it down. I mean, there were some positive things. In the first half, we had a chance there to be at a 4 or 5 point game going in at halftime. They got some buckets there within that last minute or so. So we go in at half down 9. We're feeling pretty good with, Jake and Chase in foul trouble. But then that third quarter, you could just see it on the guys, hands on knees, hands grabbing jerseys. They just got fatigued, and Paoli got hot, and then it was kind of a snowball effect from there.
And we did talk about it in the post game last night, Coach. Just the fact that offensively things were not clicking, and we looked a little bit disjointed, as Gibby said during the broadcast, or discombobulated at times. But despite that, you go into the locker room down just 9. So, you had to be feeling good about where you were at that point.
Yeah, we did. We were very confident at halftime. But, like I said, they just got so tired. 10 practices, first game. Paoli's had, about a month to practice now. This was their 4th game. You could definitely tell that they had the legs towards the end where we didn't.
And overall, we talked about it as well last night in the post game. You go in, of course, hoping to keep a guy like Brett Bosley contained, Parker Sullivan as well, from what you'd seen in their first 3 outings. And it's Aaron Busick, one of the guys who you kind of wanted to see. Can he be the guy to beat us tonight? And certainly he did his part there early to give them a cushion with the first 14 of the ball game. But overall, when you look at a guy like Bosley's production, it was a very quiet 15. And then a guy like Sullivan, who had been scoring the rock well for them, just 6 points.
Yeah, the game plan going in, we wanted to take away the 2 best players, the 2 guys that have scored majority of the points. Sullivan averaging 14, 15 a game. I thought Harrison did an excellent job all night on him. holding him to 6. That was fantastic. Bosley, he got 15, but he got them in a way that we were going to have to be willing to accept. Our goal was to not let him sit on the block and work and just get layups. He'd knock down a 3 or 2. He knocked down some pull-up jumpers. Those are things that you just got to live with. So I think he had to work for his 15. And, our goal was to see if these other guys can beat us. And you got to give credit all to Paoli. Those guys stepped up. Busick had a huge game. And then those other role kids, they came in and contributed as well. Van Meter had 6. A couple guys that haven't played a lot were able to chip in big buckets.
We talked about some of the foul trouble and this being maybe an ongoing thing, trying to stay out of that foul trouble until we get some more depth built with some experience with some of these guys that are splitting quarters. And, of course, as luck would have it, both Jake and Chase end up with a couple of quick ones early, and then it seems like it really cranks up the pressure on guys like Holden and Parker, who's expected to score, but then they're carrying twice the load at that point.
Yeah, it's hard. I thought, the guys that came in off the bench, they completed their role. Their role is to take care of the basketball and play good defense. I thought they did that for the most part. But like you said, when a guy like Jake's not on the floor, all the attention just goes straight to Holden and Parker and Harrison, and it's all on their shoulders at that point. So, it's hard. I understand, but those guys are used to that. They understand. Moving forward, once we get in more shape, I believe they'll be able to pull through on that.
Senators again fall in their season opener 55-33 last night. They'll try to bounce back, as we said, on the back end of a double-dip weekend with Trinity Lutheran coming to town, a possible sectional opponent, and what's turned into a little bit of a postseason and in-season rivalry over the last few years. Coach, tell us a little bit about this Trinity Lutheran ball club and what they offer personnel-wise this season.
They're a pretty typical Trinity Lutheran team, of the past couple years. They've had a couple guys that have been starters since they were freshmen, kind of like Parker and Holden, and so they've got some experience now. But they play the same type of style. New coach, same style. They're going to want to run. They want to push. They want to get out in transition. They want to score early offense. They don't want to play a ton of half-court defense. They want to hopefully you shoot it quick so they can go shoot it quick type of team. Personnel-wise, the Gecker boy, he comes back junior. He's a strong kid, really physical for a point guard. And then they got a freshman that's come in this year, Norton. He's shooting the ball really well early on here. And then you got some guys that have played, got some experience under their belt in Marksbury and Hackman and Rowe. So, we're just going to have to come out and play well if we want to win tonight.
Defensively, what's it look like as far as your matchup with them and what they offer on that end of the floor?
I think we have good matchups. It's going to be, can we get back in transition and find the shooters early? I think that's what it's going to come down to. I think we've got the size advantage. Hopefully we can win that rebound battle. But again, it's going to come down. They're going to look to fly. They're going to look to push the ball ahead. Can we get back and scramble around and find our guys soon enough so they don't have open threes?
Defensively in the half court for you, I know you just talked about it. Transition defense is big. Is this an opportunity now that you've seen the guys and seen what kind of shape they're in and trying to find their footing a little bit here early on? Is this an opportunity for you to maybe throw a couple different looks at them defensively and switch things up to maybe avoid some of that foul trouble and maybe some of that fatigue?
We talked about it a lot last night after the game, that we're going to find a counterpunch to our man-to-man defense, but I don't know if tonight will be that night that we see that. It's something that we need to work on in practice before we just kind of throw it out there at them. So I'd say tonight you're going to see a lot of man-to-man in the half court.
And then offensively, how do you get guys going early? What kind of maybe advantages on your matchups that you look at based on the scouting report do you try to attack with early on?
Like I said, they're a team that wants to run and push, and their transition defense at times can be pretty poor. So if we can get rebounds and look to kick ahead, and guys like Harrison and Holden can get going down the floor, maybe getting some early offense, getting some buckets that way. We also want to try and get the ball inside to Jake. He's going to have a size advantage. They like to play behind in the post. Get him some touches early on, get him going. Maybe they'll start collapsing and he can get those kickouts to those shooters. And then, the guards, they're going to have opportunities to drive. We talked about it. We don't want to be a team that's a 1-pass-3 team. That's not how we're built. We want to be a team that can drive, get to the rack, see if we can finish. If we collapse the defense, get those kick-out threes. So that's kind of the game plan. Be very aggressive, drive the ball, look to get Jake the ball early.
And I know with depth it's an issue, and it's almost an impossibility, it seems like, but a lot of times whenever you have a scrappy team, a pressing team, a lot of coaches go with the theory of you press a pressing team, you turn the tables on them. But I just don't know if that is where this team's at right now.
Yeah, we're not there. That's something else we've talked about that we may start implementing, but we're not there yet. We just don't have the depth in terms of the experience coming off the bench. We don't have the legs. We haven't practiced a lot, haven't played a lot of games, and we're going to kick it off with a back-to-back night. So we just don't want to burn the legs early. So it'll be a lot of just half court.
What's the mentality like of the boys that come in for a shoot-around today? And we talked about last night, not letting Paley beat you twice in one weekend.
Yeah, they're very positive. We came in 4 o'clock. We talked about Trinity Lutheran. We broke down the film. We went through some clips with them on some little things that we've got to get corrected, and they were very receptive to that. And so I'm feeling very confident with their attitudes right now.
And finally, Coach, as always, what about your lineup?
It'll be the same as last night. You'll have Parker, Holden, and Harrison at the guards, and then you'll have Chase and Jake down low.
All right, Coach, we wish you the best of luck. Hopefully we can get a big win here on the opening night of the home portion of our schedule at least, and get this record evened up and get a little momentum on our side before the holiday tourney.
Yeah, I hope so. Appreciate it.
And that was my conversation with Senator head coach Clayton Sullivan prior to tonight's contest. We've got just about a minute or so before they count down here to the national anthem. We'll bring you tonight's Keys to Victory, brought to you by your pregame sponsor, Eddie Gilstrap Motors. First and foremost, that early energy. Yesterday is yesterday. Today's an opportunity. Do the Senators latch onto that opportunity to get better tonight and get back on track? Secondly, battle of the boards. Got to be able to rebound a little bit better than we did last night. Keep them to one-and-done trips because they're scrappy. They're going to look for those extra possessions wherever they can steal them. And then third and finally, the two things kind of in hand, early foul trouble, can we avoid it? And as well, can we avoid the early turnovers? Got to play hard and got to play smart. Those are your keys to victory tonight, brought to you by your pregame sponsor, Eddie Gilstrap Motors. Eddie Gilstrap Motors carries a full line of Ford, Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, and Ram products. Be sure to stop and check out their showroom and lot at 207 South Main Street in Salem, or give them a call at 812-883-3481. We'll come back with our starting lineups right after this. Sponsor Eddie Gilstrap Motors. First for the Trinity Lutheran Cougars under the direction of Mr. Michael McBride, 1-4 in his first season at the helm of the program there at Trinity Lutheran. His team comes in averaging 63.2 points per game, and they give up 68.6 12.6. Their last outing was a home loss last night to Southwestern Shelbyville with a 1-4 record. He'll start a 2-guard set. Number 5, Hudson Norton, a 6-foot freshman, starts at the point guard position at 12.3 points per game and 3.5 rebounds. He'll be joined by the junior 5'10" Tyler Gerker, 18.5 points per game to lead the team, as well as nearly 6 rebounds. The forwards for the Cougars will be 25 Jack Marksberry, a 6'3" junior at 13 points and 5 rebounds per game, along with the other forward, 32 Mitchell Hackman, 6'2" and a sophomore at 7.5 points and 3 boards per contest. And in the middle, it'll be Josh Rowe, 6'3" and a senior at 9.8 points per game and 4.8 rebounds. So it's Norton, Gerker, Rowe, Marksberry, and Hackman for the Cougars to start things off. And for Coach Sullivan, who's now 10-17, just underway in his second season here in Camelsburg, his team averaging 33, giving up 55 based off of the one game that lost last night, 55-33 at Paoli. He'll start a 2-guard set. Number 11, Holden Bousman, will start at the point, a 6'2" junior. He's coming in with 6 points and 5 rebounds per contest. Number 12, Parker Green, will start at the 2 spot. He's a 6'1" junior, 2 points, 3 rebounds per game. Number 3, Harrison Sanford, will start at 1 forward. He's 6'3" and a senior, 8 points and 6 rebounds per contest. He'll be joined by number 4, Chase Farmer, on the other block, 6'2" and a senior as well, 5 points, 2 rebounds for him in the loss at Paoli last night. 32, Jake Strange, he will start in the middle. The 6'5" junior big man averages 9 points and 5 boards after one game of play. He also went 5 of 6 from the stripe last night. Tonight's Indiana High School Athletic Association officials are Mr. Craig McCarty, Matt Kanisevich, and Mark Hunt. Senators will be in those home white Under Armour duds with the blue and red trim, blue letters and numerals. Meanwhile, the Cougars breaking out some nice road unis, got a little bit of a Notre Dame look to them, if you will, maybe a Georgia Tech, some navy blue and gold with some white trim, and navy numerals and letters trimmed in white as well. So this one should be a nice one to start the home portion of the schedule with, see if the Senators can bounce back and, like I said last night, get a little bit of mo on their side. They'll need that momentum going into the house that Doc Nash built next Friday night for the 2019 First Harrison Bank Holiday Tourney. But before that, 32 minutes at least to decide this one and see if the Senators can go to 1-1 here early on the year. It'll be Jake Strange to step to the center circle, and it looks like he's going to jump it up with Jack Marksberry at 6'3", Strange at 6'5", and away we go, and the Senators will control the opening tip. Glad to have you along with us. Mr. Jones alongside of Mark Gibson. Craig Akers running the live stream YouTube feed tonight. And as the Senators patient here, good ball movement as the Cougars open up in a little bit of man-to-man defense to start things out. 20 seconds gone by. They'll feed down low, and on the kick out, Harrison has it back from Holden. Over to Green. Parker, not very aggressive last night. Didn't even really know it was on the floor, to tell you the truth. Underneath, they'll try to establish Jake early. He misses, gets his own rebound, shorthands that one as well. And the rebound's cleared out of there by Josh Rowe. Cougars back in to the front court quickly for their first possession of the ball game offensively. And the Senators, a good look, good opportunities,
right.
But those are the little ones that he's got to be able to finish at point-blank range as the Cougars come up with a miss. Harrison there to wipe the defensive glass clean. Harrison again last night, 8.6 rebounds in the loss. And Jake right back at it again underneath. This time he'll be hacked, and our first foul of the night will go on Josh Rowe, number 12. That's his first and the first of the game for either ball club. Just over a minute gone by here in this opening quarter of action.
I like what we've seen from the very start. Let's see if 32 can control this ball game. 2 straight possessions, 2 straight looks for the big man.
The problem is 0 for 3 already from the field, if you want to count that last one. So we'll see if he can get things cooking a little bit. Had a couple of great opportunities on that first trip down. Free throws, though, solid thus far. Don't want to put the hex on him, but shot him well again. 5 of 6 last night from the stripe. 2 of 2 here early, and the Senators claim the first advantage of the night at 2-0. And Into the front court, the freshman, Norton, sends it into the corner, gets it back, swings it around now to Gerker. Gerker, the junior guard, again, almost 19 points per game. May got away with an extra step as he spun into the paint. We'll have our first foul of the night on the Senators. So, bad night to wear number 12 as Josh Rowe wears 12 for the Cougars. He picks up the first foul of the night for Coach McBride's ball club. Meanwhile, Parker Green picks up the first of the night for the homestanding Senators. And as to the free throw line, Tyler Gerker goes. Gerker on the year 10 of 16, entering tonight for 63%. It's the first one down, looking for our first official tie of the night, and he gets it to fall. So first tie of the night is at 2.
It's going to be a good matchup all night, Gerker and Holden. You know, I'm sure they'll pass off every now and then, but that's a pretty good matchup.
Jake Strange, 16-foot jumper straight away goes. Jake's got the first 4 of the night. Senators back out in front.
Nice, Jake with a nice step in with the steal.
Jake trying to assert some dominance here early. Parker leaves it off for Harrison down in front of us here on the right wing. A look for a cutter coming through. Jake tries to kick it cross court over to Parker. That pass a little errant. That's our first turnover of the night for either ball club. 6:09 to go first quarter, and the Senators lead it 4-2.
Little indecision. He got caught. He was really wanting to try another, 15, 16 footer, but then saw the defense closing out and got caught mid-thought, throws it away.
Up top, Hackman with it. Little dribble weave handoff. Norton's going to give it back to Gerker. Stopped by Holden. Forces him to give it back up to Hackman. Lays it in the corner. That shot may have been partially blocked. Nice closeout by Harrison. Marksberry come up short. Offensive rebound, though, to the Cougars off the block. Nice feed in the high post. 16-foot elbow. Jumper from the left side will go for Josh Rowe. His first 2 of the night. And it's tied again at 4 apiece.
Yeah, that's our second chance opportunities hurt us in the third quarter and some in the beginning of the fourth quarter last night. Got to do a better job on the board.
It's really the double dagger. That's also points off turnover.
Yeah, yep.
5:19 and counting first quarter. Holden with a nice fake with a Euro step. Counted in 1 for the junior point man. Holden in the books early. Again, struggled last night. Just 6 points for Holden. Could not find the mark.
Yeah, he just couldn't find the range last night. He settled for some jump shots and a couple followaways. I like that, Holden. When he is confident and he takes it to the rim, he's tough to stop.
Long on the free throw, though, as the free throw conundrum continues. Just 1 of 3 last night from the stripe. 0 for 1 here, but the Senators back out in front at 6-4. That foul, by the way, was on the freshman, Hudson Norton, his first of the night. So him and Rowe with 1 apiece. Senators just with 1 in the foul department. And that goes on Parker. Deep 3 will not go for Rowe. Offensive rebound, fought for underneath. And it's Holden who ties up Gerker. And on the alternating possession, Senators controlled the tip. So it'll go to Trinity Lutheran at the 4:55 mark. And it'll be a 1-4 low set here for the Cougars. The freshman trying to trigger it in. Can't find anybody. Close to a 5 count. And Harrison going to nearly come up with the steal. Instead, it's Marksberry who finds his way into the paint. Can't get the runner to go. Back tips it, though, to the freshman, Norton. And he's got his first basket of the night, make it a 6-6 ball game. Tied for the 3rd time here already. Coming up on the 4.5-minute mark of this first quarter. Jake, kick out. Parker, 3. Right side, in and out, no good. Touched about every part of the rim before it spit back out as Gerker uses the nifty spin move, leaves it off in the corner. 3 ball on the way is good for Mitchell Hackman, and the big man shows some range. And we've got our first lead change of the night as Trinity Lutheran claims their first advantage at 9-6. Parker, dribble drive, right side, partially blocked. Hackman there at the scene, and he's the one going to come away with it. Brings it into the front court. He'll leave it off for Rowe. Rowe wildly into the paint, has it blocked by Harrison, and then a late whistle. After the block, he's going to call Harrison for the body, and Coach Sullivan disagrees with that call, and he's going to chew on the ear here just a little bit. Harrison picks up his first, team foul number 2. Each team with 2 personals early on, halfway point of the first quarter. 9-6, Trinity Lutheran enjoying their first lead of the night. Rowe to the free throw line. And this is the first really late whistle there.
Yeah, I'd say it was so late. If they got him with the push after the block, he should have the ball out of bounds, not a 2-shotter, because it was definitely blocked.
Second free throw upcoming for Josh Rowe, the 6'3" senior, again averaging nearly 10 points and 5 boards per game, but just a 60% free throw shooter, and he can't get either one to go. 9-6, Cougars out in front. Holden sends it right side now to Harrison. Little 1-4 high set. Again, their variation of a horn set, and Holden can't get the fall away to go, but he'll be hacked by Gerker, who picks up his first, team foul number 3, and Holden will go back to the free throw line. Again, still trying to find his footing. Missed his first one of the night, so just 1 of 4 here early in the season for Holden. That one got a lot better rotation on it. Got that one to fall, make it 9-7. Try to draw it to within 1. Second one upcoming. Senators and Cougars yet to make a substitution. And Holden's second one true as well. So a lot better already. 2 for 2 on that trip. And it's 9-8. Cougars in front by 1 as Gerker will walk it across the timeline and be met by Holden playing a little off man here. Senators in a little nickel look. Norton with a deep 3. Nice stroke for the freshman as Parker was closing out. Norton, though, with 5 already, make it 12-8. Largest lead of the night for the Cougars here at 4. Strange with it. Has to give it up out top. Holden controls now to Parker. Parker has space. Works against Hackman. Can't find anything, so he sends it back to Holden. Bullseye through the left side. That 3 ball true and nothing but the bottom of the net. 12-11, and Holden already.
He was confident about shooting that one because he even bobbled the pass from Parker, and he still knew this is my shot from this area right here.
Holden already with 7, just 6 for the game last night, so he's trying to make an early statement here, and the freshman trying to do so as well as Hudson Norton comes up with a big offensive board and put back. Nice little fadeaway jumper, make it 14-11. Trying to look at Farmer in the post. They'll kick it back out to Holden. Will work against Gerker. Now on the screen and on the switch, Rose on him. They'll kick it back to the high post, and Jake nearly loses the handle. Back out to Harrison, deep 3. That one in and out, no good from the left side. The freshman clears it out and lays it off for Gerker. Into the front court, near travel. Jake able to block the shot. Nice patience by Jake. Thought he was going to bite on the initial pump by Marksberry. Harrison in transition, off to Holden, top of the key, now on the right wing. Parker works the dribble, comes back out as he works against Mitchell Hackman, and another 3 on the way. Will not, or long jumper rather, will not go. 2 minutes to go here, first quarter. The pace starts to frenzy just a little bit as the Cougars enjoy a 14-11 advantage. Out front, Hackman gives it off on the wing to Marksberry, gives it back to the freshman Norton, another 3, this one long, and Jake clears the defensive board. Good box out against Josh Rowe. Harrison will walk it in now to the front court, leave it off for Parker on the right wing. He'll flip it back on a little flare to Harrison, who drives in out of control, got his own rebound and tried to flip it out, instead threw it into the hands of Gerker, turnover number 2 of the night, and Gerker leaves it off on the wing for It was Hackman who gave it back to Gerker, so Hackman will give him the assist. Gerker with the long-range jumper, his first triple of the night, make it now 17-11. Largest advantage for the Cougars. Parker to answer for 3, can't find the range. Another one in and out, will not go. Hackman down low to Rowe, long jumper, right baseline's good. We might need a TO here as Rowe's got 4, and it's 19-11.
Yeah, everything seemed to be really good. Like Coach said at the end of the second quarter last night, we just kind of empty possessions and gave up a couple of buckets, and a 4 or 5 point lead ballooned to 9. It's happened here too, an 8-point deficit now.
Holden shakes off the screen attempt by Jake, brings it to the right side to Harrison, who just got it back from Parker. Parker gets it back to Holden, and now they go to Jake in the corner. He'll try to dribble with it. Can't do anything with it. Sends it cross court now to Harrison. Senators a little disjointed again offensively. Chase has his shot blocked underneath, gets his own rebound. Back out to Harrison, pump fake, step back, 3-pointer. Couldn't get it to go, left that one short. Gerker will chase down the board, and he'll walk it down now as Coach Michael McBride will call thumbs down and get the last shot here, last possession of this opening stanza. 19-11. Gerker, step back 3 against Holden, who blocks it. He gets it back though. Holden blocks it again as time expires. Senators with a nice defensive stand. Holden with 2 blocks on Gerker, but the Senators trail at 19-11 after our first Quarter stop. We'll step aside, we'll take a break here from one of our sponsors, and we'll come back with second quarter action right after this.
After a joint surgery, injury, or illness, Meadowview and Salem Crossing are the best choices for helping you recover. Our Moving Forward Rehabilitation Program offers a full range of therapies. We're here to help you return home safely with the skills you need to live life on your own terms. Meadowview and Salem Crossing, two great options for your rehabilitation. To learn more, visit asccare.com or call 888-996-8272.
Back we come to the friendly confines after 8 minutes of play. Senators trail it by 8, 19-11, but a nice defensive stand to end the quarter as Holden gets the 2 consecutive blocks on Gerker's attempt to get a 3 to go as time expires. So a little bit of work for the Senators to do to clean things up from that first quarter, trailing at 19-11. We're underway, second quarter of play. The Senators open up with the rock. Parker left that one short, and Bryce Brown, the 6-foot junior, is checked into the ball game, as well as 5'8" guard and junior Nash Huff. 3 will not go for Marksberry from the far corner, and Holden will clear it out and bring it into the front court quickly to Huff. He stops, nowhere to go with it. Underneath the Brown, he tries to kick it out to Holden. Turnover number 3 here for West Washington. The Cougars yet to turn it over in this one. And as I say that, there you go, Coach. Put the hex on. They give it up for the first time. So a turnover for each ball club to start the period. And Holden starts the offense back again. Huff gives it back now to Holden. Sends it cross court to Parker. Nice dribble drive. And that one will go off the window for 2. Parker already matching his point total from last night.
He's being more aggressive, though. That's what we need to see from Parker, is being aggressive. He'll find the range at some point.
We've made the little illustration or analogy before, like baseball. Hitter's not going to get out of a slump unless they keep swinging the bat.
That's
Same
right.
thing with the shooter.
That's right. It's the old Gretzky, you miss every shot you don't take. And
Yep.
I think that was the great one.
Out front, Gerker with it off a high screen, and Marksberry is going to get whistled for a offensive foul on an illegal screen. So for Jack Marksberry, that'll be his first. That'll be team foul number 4, and that'll be turnover number 2. Back-to-back possessions, 2 turnovers here for the Cougars to start the quarter, and the Senators continue to chip away here. 19-13, they trail it by 6. Holden in the corner with it. He'll send it cross court. Parker will try for 3 again. Bang! Got it to go from the corner. 5 for Parker to start the period, and just like that, we're back to within 3 at 19-16.
That was the old catch and shoot. You can tell by the rotation. As soon as it left his hand, it was good.
Out front with it, the freshman, who had a great first quarter, turns it over. So, Coach, 3 possessions, now 3 consecutive turnovers, 2 minutes rather gone by. Holden for 3 again. That one's short, tries to follow his shot. And now the Cougars will try to push back in transition. Out of control with it, though, were the Cougars. So now 4 possessions, 4 turnovers, and the wheels falling off here offensively for Mike McBride's ball club. That one whistled on Lawson Woods, the travel for Woods as he's fresh into the ball game, a 5'9" junior at 3 points per game. Rowe will check back in, and he will give Hackman a break. So it'll be Rowe out there with Woods, the freshman Norton, Gerker, who's already winded, and Jack Marksberry for the Senators. Bousman, Green, Sanford, Strange, Bousman's checked out, and Huff is in with Brown. Nice little turnaround jump hook as Bryce Brown gets his first basket of the night, 19-18, and the Senators open up here with a little 7-0 spurt to start the quarter. And a missed shot, finally not a turnover for the Cougars, but just as bad. A quick shot, no offensive board. Jake underneath, he'll be fouled. And this one will go on Rowe, and that'll be his second. Team foul number 5. 5:23 to go before the half. Senators trailed at 19-11 coming out of the quarter break, and since then have put on 7 straight, courtesy of 4 consecutive turnovers and 1 missed shot on a possession for Trinity Lutheran. As Jake leaves that one well short. Got to bring the knees, big fella.
Bryce has done a really good job since getting his first touch. He turned it over, but since then he has a couple deflections, a steal, nice little up and under move.
And Jake finishes that one, so he's 3 of 4 on the night. Give him 5 points, and it is now an 8-0 run, and we are tied up for the 4th time at 19 apiece. Nice run here for the Senators.
And again, last night, turnovers was such a big problem.
It absolutely was as Rowe misses. So 4 straight turnovers, now 2 straight misses. And Harrison pushes in transition, tries to cross over against Marksberry, has to give it up and get it right back from Green. Ball poked away. Nice defense by Rowe as he pokes it away from Strange. Turnover number 4 for the Senators, but then they steal it right back. 5 turnovers now for the Cougars, and Strange will kick it cross court. Parker for 3, could it be? This one, no, short. And it'll ricochet into the corner, out of bounds, and it'll be Cougar basketball. 4:37 to go there in the second quarter of play. 19-19, our 4th tie of the night.
Again, we were talking about, just to make that point about turnovers. I mean, if you can take care of the ball, we have offensive weapons. I mean, obviously, it goes without saying. Take care of the ball, you're going to be in much better shape.
Norton hounded out front by Nash Huff. Forces him to give it up to Lawson Woods. Woods kicks it over now as Gerker tries to spit it back out. It's going to be off the fingertips of Norton, who saves it from being a backcourt violation. They kick it in the corner to Gerker, who could not get the 3 ball to go. And Bryce Brown clears the boards again for the Senators, as we'll have mass substitutions at the next dead ball for Coach Sullivan's ball club. Huff with it, looked in the post, couldn't find anything. Instead goes to Brown, 1 dribble, gives it up to Strange, who goes cross court to Parker, splits 2 defenders, runner won't go. Rebound pulled down by Rowe, and the Cougars now will push in transition. Gerker speeding up, now stops, gives it off in the corner to Woods. His 3 in and out, no good. And Harrison there to clear the board. He'll now push in transition, no numbers. Let's see if he goes one-on-one or gives it up. He will give it up to the trailer, Strange, and Jake will be whistled for the travel. 5th turnover of the game for the Senators, and a mass substitution, as I said. Lopp will come in for Huff. So we'll see 5'8" junior Michael Lopp for the first time. Parker Green will get a breather, as well as Bryce Brown. That'll send both Holden and Chase back into the ball game.
Sure, that was a travel, but it looked so awkward that they had to call something.
Back into the ball game is Mitchell Hackman. He gives Marksberry a much-needed breather. Nice little dribble handoff and a block again. Holden's got 3 blocks already. And he'll push in transition, works against Gerker, and then he gets his shot blocked. Gives a little tap on the hip to Gerker and says, touche. Nice answer. 3:07 to go before the half. A 1-4 low set here, and it'll be Lopp to trigger it in. Holden on the ball side block. Harrison in the ball side corner. They come out to pick him up. Does Woods. He'll screen down for Lopp, who comes back to the corner, and now the Senators will reset it. Holden will cut through on the give and go. He'll drive baseline right side. Kicks it over now to Lopp in the corner in no man's land, who dribbles out of trouble. Gives it off now to Sanford. Back cross court, it goes to Holden. Deep 3 from the parking lot. That one won't go. Rebound pulled down by Gerker. He pushes up the middle of the floor. 2:41 and counting. Spins, nearly drug the pivot foot. Rowe had his shot blocked by Jake. Blocks galore for the Senator defense here in this first half, as Holden will slow it up and cross it into the front court. Harrison now on the left wing against the man-to-man defense. Surveys the damage, gives it off to Lopp. Looks at Strange, had it poked away, gathers it back in, takes it, and 1! Took the contact and finished off the window for 2. Jake now with 7. He'll look for 8 as he finally breaks the tie. And the Senators reclaim the lead. Our second lead change of the night. They lead at 21-19.
We're getting some good work off the bench. That was a nice find by Lopp. Nice, nothing fancy or anything, but he found Jake when he needed to. Got the assist there. Huff has an assist, and obviously Brown came in and did well too.
Free throw won't go for Jake Strange. Now, he's 3 of 5 on the night. Near turnover as Hackman lost the handle, gives it back to Marksberry back into the ball game. He tried to kick it out to nobody, and tracking it down rather at midcourt was Gerker. Gerker will work it out top now against Holden. Senators still in the man-to-man. He tries to go behind the back, and Holden just does the pickpocket to the other end, coast to coast for 2. That's a no-no. You don't try a lazy behind the back against this guy because the hands are like greased lightning.
He's the glove, man.
Little Gary Payton reference there for you NBA retro fans.
That's another way of saying I'm old.
No. Just a 90s reference, Coach. Just a 90s reference as Josh Rowe answers to the other end. 23-21.
Much better energy, much better movement today.
Just much better offense, much better everything.
Nice pass by Jake.
Nice vision by Jake to get the wraparound to Farmer, who had his man pinned.
That is a tough pass from one block to the other.
And really the foul's going to be on Mitchell Hackman. And for Hackman, that'll be his second. And that's already 7. So for the final 78 seconds, we'll be in the bonus here in this first half. Hackman will have a seat with the 2 personals. We'll see Jacob Sabotin, a 6'4" sophomore, check in for his first minutes of the night. And Chase on the front end of the bonus knocks down the first. Make it 24-21, 3-point advantage for the Senators. A couple of lead changes and 4 ties in this first half already. Farmer, nice rotation. Left it a little bit short as Holden tried to fight for the rebound against the taller Sabotin fresh into the ball game for the Cougars. Gerker walks it across the timeline, met by Holden at midcourt. We'll leave it off on the wing for the freshman. He kicks it in the corner to Marksberry, and Norton gets it back. Now to Gerker. Tried to get into the paint. Holden denied him. They go to Rowe on the wings, picked up by Jake. The big man steps out to defend. Under a minute to go here before the halftime break. Senators up 24-21. Rowe playing a 2-man game with Marksberry. He can't get it back to him, and now does in the corner. They'll kick it back out to Rowe. Now to Norton. Sabotin with it. Didn't want any part of the dribble drive, so it's kick it around the horn, and a nice rainbow jumper will go for Rowe from the left baseline. Give him now 8.5, and it's a 1-point game. Senators up 24.
Yeah, he's hit 2 from that exact spot. Just barely over Jake's hands both times, so he's fairly comfortable with that little 12-foot jump shot from the wing. So
first time out of the night for either ball club here with 28.5 seconds to go. Coach Sullivan going to draw up what he wants for hopefully a last possession here of the half. And we'll step aside for just a second for station identification. You're listening to Senator Basketball on WSLM.
When you're listening to IU Sports, you need to be locked in on WSLM 97.9 FM, your home for IU Sports.
Senators coming out of the 30-second timeout. We'll see what Coach Sullivan has drawn up here on the whiteboard.
Coach, I don't see any ducks here lined up in a row. Did you
know,
not get any ducks?
I didn't.
Oh,
I didn't.
No.
I am out of the loop, out of the routine here. So it's gonna take me a little bit to figure out what's going on this season. I did not buy any ducks for the Chuck-a-Duck, so I'm pretty sure this is not what Coach Sullivan drew up. A near turnover. Holden, though, gets it from Farmer off the window. Can't get it to finish. And I think Harrison Maya took a shot here to the, I'll say the lower gut region.
Right. Lower abdomen.
Lower ab region. 12.1 on the clock. And they're going to give him a break here as Nash Huff will check in for him. Holden to the free throw line. 2 of 3 on the night, make it 3 of 4. And what a great first half for Holden. A nice bounce back thus far. 25-23. And Harrison is hurting for certain. It's one of those, you take that, I'll use air quotes, lower gut shot, and you probably rather have a nail in your foot.
Yeah. And the way, there's 3 guys slapping at the ball, so, he got hit in the lower gut pretty solidly.
Gerker with it out front, dribble drive, splits 2 defenders, Lop and Farmer both there. We'll see who they get, whether they get Lop on the block attempt or Farmer with the biting. I think they're going to get Farmer. So for Chase, that'll be his first and only the 3rd team foul. So turnovers, just 5. We had 7 at the half last night. Foul situation, not bad at all. You've got Parker, Sanford, Farmer with 1 apiece. Holden and Jake, a clean slate, so much, much better than what we had at this juncture last night.
It's going to be a little bit more comfortable halftime, I'm sure. But with 5.4 seconds to go on the clock, got a box out here, and you still have time to get it up the floor and get a good shot.
Gerker missed the first, hits the second, so it makes it 26-24. Holden will race it down 3, 2, all the way to the hoop, and he got it to go at the buzzer. What a first half for Holden Bousman as he leads the charge in this first half and makes it a 28-24 ball game here at the break. Holden in that first half with 7 points, 6 in the second quarter for 13 in all here in this first half of play. And the Senators again with a 4-point edge at the break. Coach Gibson and I will step aside. We'll hear a word from a couple of our sponsors, and we'll come back to begin our McDonald's halftime report right after this.
After 2 years of study and research, the Washington County Community Foundation launched its first proactive initiative, Youth First, in 2007. Their goal was to create a positive environment within the county where youth are valued, their needs come first, and investments are made in their well-being. In 2011, Youth First merged with the YMCA to best serve youth through their common commitments to youth development, healthy living, and social responsibility. This merger allowed for further utilization of Youth First missions and the possibility to grow development assets in our community more initially. Link's Clothing and Shoes carries a wide variety of items from name brand clothing and shoes to sports apparel and sporting goods. We offer custom screen printing and embroidery, free gift wrapping, alternations, and layer. Our hours are Monday through Thursday, 9 to 5:30, Friday, 9 to 6, and Saturday, 9 to 5. We are conveniently located on the north side of the Salem Square. We are a family-owned and operated business. Stop by and see us today. 812-883-4154.
Cold soft drink, that famous Mickey D sweet tea, or something from their full line of smoothies and McCafe coffee drinks. Order inside from 4 a.m. to 11, or get that one-of-a-kind taste 24 hours at the drive-thru. McDonald's, I'm loving it.
Smith Court, where we begin our Senator halftime report, brought to you by McDonald's on South Main Street in Salem. Senators lead at 28-24 at the break. The first half that saw 2 lead changes and 4 ties, and saw the Cougars have their largest lead of the half after that first quarter of play, up 19-11, but a 17-point burst by the Senators in the second frame. Offense that we clearly did not see last night over at Paoli helped spur them on to this 4-point advantage here at the break. Let's run down the scoring for both of these ball clubs. First for the visiting Cougars of Trinity Lutheran, Hudson Norton, a freshman guard, 7 points, all in the first quarter of play. Had a couple of 2-point field goals and 1 made from beyond the arc. Tyler Gerker, starting point guard, the junior, averaging nearly 19 a game. A very quiet first half for him, just 6 points, 1 field goal. That was from behind the arc, and 3 of 4 from the free throw line. Josh Rowe, a nice first half for him. He's got 8 to pace the attack for the Cougars, but he's 0 for 2 from the stripe. Jack Marksberry scoreless in the first half, and Mitchell Hackman chipped in a 3 in the first quarter, but that's all he was able to tally. Jacob Saboten and Lawson Woods scoreless off the bench for Coach Michael McBride in that first half of play. Cougars were 3 of 6 from the free throw line for just 50%, and the Senators forced 6 turnovers by the Cougars, all of them coming in that second quarter of play, and the first 4 possessions of that second quarter where the Senators were able to start chipping at that 8-point deficit resulted in 4 consecutive giveaways and allowed the Senators to get a little bit of an advantage there and get the mojo going a little bit on the offensive end. So 6 turnovers all in that second period of play for Trinity Lutheran. Meanwhile, for the Senators, again, a much different looking team at both ends of the floor, really. A lot of block shots, a lot of good help side, a lot of things that we didn't see last night, and offensively, a much more aggressive version of the Senators, what we expected to and hoped to see last night at least. Holden Bousman, the monster first half for him, defensively and offensively, as he had 7 in the first quarter rather, and 6 more in the second quarter, including the buzzer beater at the end of the half. 13 for him. He was also 4 out of 5 from the free throw line in that first half of play. Parker Green with 5 points all in the second quarter. Again, he only had 2 last night at Paola. Harrison Sanford, though, scoreless in this first half, but he's done a lot of other good things for Coach Sullivan's ball club. Chase Farmer with 1 point on 1 of 2 free throw shooting, hit the front end of that bonus opportunity there late in the second quarter and missed the back end. Jake Strange, 7 points here at the half, a couple of 2-point field goals, and he's been to the line for 5 attempts, hitting 3 of those 5. Bryce Brown, Nash Huff, and Michael Lopp, 3 juniors, play off the bench in the first half. Brown chips in 2. Huff and Lopp go scoreless. Senators go 8 of 12 from the free throw line. Now, if you remember last night, Senators were 10 out of 18, so we've almost matched last night's total as far as free throws shot, inching closer to that at least. 8 of 12 at the half for 67%, and the Senators, another thing to note, just 5 turnovers in that first half of play. So low turnovers, you avoid early foul trouble. A couple of things we talked about in the pregame as keys to victory. Getting some early energy, I thought we had that come out. Played good ball, was patient on the offensive end. You know, it adds up to the little things, and we said, you know, and obviously there's still 2 quarters at least left to play in this one. We were going to see what kind of mental toughness this group had and what kind of composure, and right now I like what I see after a very tough game last night.
Yeah, and you know, some of the, you know, the coaches provide us with a little bit of the scouting report and the keys as well. You know, I wrote a few of them down. We had to, they said we had to move the ball. I think they did that. We had to force the turnover. You know, we had to win the turnover battles. We're doing that. Transition D, I don't know how many. I'm not sure we've given up very many transition buckets. So I think that's a check so far. But it's just one half. Going to the stats, I mean, you mentioned just one, you know, stat, individual stat. You mentioned Harrison not scoring but doing other things. 8 rebounds in the first half. 8 rebounds, 2 assists, 2 blocks, a steal, you know, so he's definitely doing other things. You know, Senators shooting much better. In the first half, they shot 7 of 15 inside the arc for 46.7%. Still can't find the range from downtown. Last night, we ended up 1 of 10 for the game. In this half, we were 2 of 10 for 20%. Got to find the range 3-point wise. So shooting, though, was 9 of 24 for 37.5%. You know, but we did do a nice job on the boards getting second chance opportunities. Trinity shoots 6 of 14 inside the arc for 42.9%. Behind the arc, the first quarter they hit 3, but 0 for 4 in the second quarter. They are 3 of 11 total, 27.3%. Rebounding's pretty close. They still have the edge. You know, that's one thing last year, you know, we prided ourselves on being a great rebounding team, but right now Trinity holds the edge 16 to 14, each team with 3 offensive boards. You know, assist-wise, pretty even. 6 steals for West Washington and just 3 for Trinity. So 7 first half blocks as well. 3 blocks for Holden, 2 for Sanford and Strange apiece. So making it tough going for Trinity to get clean shots. And that's, like I say, one of the reasons why we got to do a little bit better job blocking out. I think that's one reason we're down on the rebounding. They've had several, 2 and 3 chances at the bucket, so we got to do a little bit better job there. But stat-wise, much better than last night, and I think that goes with the better energy, the better ball movement, and you can tell we just seem more relaxed today too.
Take a break here as the Trinity Lutheran Cougars make their way back onto the floor. Senators already out here to get ready for this second half. So we'll step aside here, a word from the sponsor, and we'll come back with third quarter action right after this.
Come visit America Flea Market in Salem. We've got over 22,000 square feet of treasures and one of the largest indoor flea markets in Kentuckiana. Located at 110 Progress Boulevard in Salem, we're one of the ultimate destinations for picking and saving and a fun place to shop. We have over 70 vendors and a huge selection of new, used, antique, primitive, and vintage items. Beat the heat. Stop in our air-conditioned store. Come and see us Tuesday through Sunday. We open up at 11 a.m. America Flea Market, where pickers pick and shoppers save.
Confines here in Campbellsburg. Senators lead it 28-24 as we get ready to start the second half of play. It'll be Trinity Lutheran's basketball to start this second half. As across the way, it'll be the freshman Hudson Norton to trigger it in. He'll throw it into the backcourt. Looks like starters for both ball clubs to start this second half of play, as they will go to Hackman on the right wing to start, back to Marksberry, and now Gerker will take it off the little handoff, back to Hackman. Nice fake. He'll try to get into the paint and does, but he's whistled for the travel. So just like they started the second quarter with a turnover, in fact, 4 in a row, as we said at the half, they start the third quarter with 1, and caused a little bit of frustration for Coach McBride at the end of the Trinity Lutheran bench.
Kind of indecision. It was a good hard take, but then he didn't really know how to finish, and good defense by Chase Farmer.
Underneath. Strange has it, backs down with the dribble, gives it off now to Parker. And a bit of trouble over in the corner. They'll kick it cross court now to Holden, who takes a strong drive to the hoop left side. Couldn't get it to go. Farmer to fight for the rebound. And now it's a 2-on-2 break. Marksberry and the freshman quickly Rowe to join them. We'll slow it up. Rowe will take the 3 as the trailer. It leaves it long, and Parker will beat him to the spot for the defensive rebound. 50 seconds gone by here in this second half of play. Parker with the stop and pop just inside the three-point line in the left wing. And Parker now with 7 in the ball game. Again, just 2 last night. The Senators with a 6-point advantage, their largest of the night.
Nice, confident look by number 12. I like it.
Marksberry out front working against Sanford, who seems to be in a little bit better shape than he was to end the first half. And a nice 3 from the big man Hackman. That's his second triple. Had one in the first quarter, has one here in the third. Make it now 30-27. The feed down low, Jake, nice. Done a great job of sealing off against Rowe. Missed the shot and got his own rebound and put it back in. So Jake now with 9 as he inches closer to double-figure scoring. 32-27, 6:16 and counting third quarter.
Got bodied a little bit on that first one, but I guess, sometimes when you're that big, you don't get that call.
Norton with a quick closeout by Holden right in his face. The freshman able to soak the 3. Woo. Bill Raftery would say, Coach, he had the puppy set, didn't waste any time, and didn't really have much time with Holden closing out. That's a confident stroke for a freshman, but to the other end, Jake Strange able to answer.
It's on the scouting report. They said freshman, but he's a sniper, so we gotta make sure we know where he's at.
Norton on the help side gets whistled for the foul. Jake with the and-one opportunity upcoming. 4 points already for him in the quarter. He finished it off, so Jake already with 5. Just a little over 2 minutes gone by here in this third quarter to go with the 7 from the first half. So give him 12 as he's into double figures. 5:47 and counting. Senators up 35-30. Hackman with it again on the right wing. Gives it to Norton. Got the quick trigger as Holden tries to deny, and he does a good job of doing so. They have to go back to Hackman. He'll stop and pop. A little 16-footer from the elbow. Right side will not go as Harrison clears the board. And Holden tried the old Magic Johnson one-arm sling, and Jake wasn't running the route a little too slow, I guess you would say. That corner route's what he's used to throwing, and he saw him just let him a little too far.
Not Kareem.
Yeah, there you go.
There you go.
Just a little slow on that fast break for Jake.
Sam Perkins.
Yeah, there you go.
maybe a better analogy.
Nice spin move in the paint. Gerker had his shot blocked by a host of Senators. Tries to run it down, and he'll foul Holden. Loose ball foul. Nice hustle by
Holden gets
Holden.
him another block.
Check that, they're going to get Holden. Well, they called it on Gerker, bumping him, but they're going to call Holden instead, so that'll be the first of the half on West Washington, and for Holden, that'll be his first of the game. Who would have thought it? Of the 5 starters, Jake's the only one with 3 minutes gone by in the third that hasn't committed a foul yet. And he claims another defensive rebound and leaves it off for Harrison, who'll bring it up.
Norton tried a long 3.
Parker with it, feeds on the block. As he gets shoved off the block, Jake will try to regain his footing, and a nice dribble drive move backing down Rowe. And it's starting to impose his will. He's already matched his first half total with 7 here in the third, 14 in the game for Jake.
The way we started off the game, feeding the post, feeding the post.
4.5 to play here in the third. 37-30 now, the largest lead of the night for the Senators at 7. Rowe looking for some help, trying to give it up to Norton. He'll go with a back cut and try to get away from Holden. Instead, they go to Gerker, to Hackman. Hackman, left side, spins, goes in against Strange, and Farmer misses it on the back tap, though. He'll get it to Gerker. Marksberry, quick closeout from Sanford, forces the miss, and Jake will pull down the defensive rebound once again. Halfway home here in the third, 37-30. Senators out in front. Holden sets the offense. They'll try to go right back to Jake, and they do on the reach around. Had it poked away. It'll be turnover number 6, first of the half. Actually, check that. It's Chase who, with the hustle, comes up with the loose ball. Thought it was going to be a turnover. It actually forces a jump ball. Coach McBride not agreeing with it, but Chase saves it from being a turnover. Instead, gets tied up. Before the tie-up, though, we'll have a timeout. So Coach Sullivan will burn a full timeout with 3:51 to go here in the third. That'll give us a chance to step aside and get in another sponsor. We'll be back with more third quarter action right after this.
Papa John Salem here to make it snow through the holiday season with some great prices. We are offering 50% off of all pizzas until the end of the year. Ask for our Festive 50 special when you call in or use promo code Festive50 online. That's FESTIVE 50. We also have great holiday bundle specials for businesses and schools. Call in and ask our team about these great deals. Call in today or go online to check out our other great prices. Happy holidays from your better ingredients, better pizza, Salem Papa John's.
And did as Chase Hustle gets credited for the hustle points there to save it. They'll lob it into Jake underneath. Nice reverse and a nice feed. And then we're going to get an and one opportunity on the late shove by Marksberry. What great vision there on the inbounds pass.
Yeah, that was absolutely great. And, you know, Parker at first, I don't know if he was just deking him because he was looking at Holden. And then all of a sudden, boom, right to the rack. And I didn't see the foul. Trinity seemed like they didn't do it, but then we got called for that in the first quarter too on Harrison's, if you remember.
Jake to the free throw line, can't finish the and one opportunity, but Jake already with 9 in the quarter, 16 in the game, and we talked about it in the pregame.
Holden another, his
Turnover,
hands are everywhere.
Turnover for the Cougars, their 8th of the ball game. We ask who's going to be that catalyst, and right now everybody's taking a turn as Parker heats up. He's got a couple of baskets here in the third. Give him 9. Holden with 13, but yet to score in the quarter. Jake now pacing the attack with 9 in this period and 16 in the game, and it forces a timeout here from Coach McBride and the Cougars. It's a full timeout with 3:29 to play.
In 2015, we launched the Dolly Parton Imagination Library. This is phase 2 of the Happily Ever After project. With the assistance of several local donors and sponsors, along with 5 years of fundraising by the Washington County Youth Foundation, we finally had enough resources to launch the service. The Dolly Parton Imagination Library is a free service that mails age-appropriate books to all required Washington County children under the age of 5. Although the faces of the leadership of the Washington County Community Foundation have changed over time, as is always the case with any healthy, thriving organization, the core values and mission remain the same. We continue to work diligently to assist our donors in creating a legacy that is meaningful to them. All of our success is directly related to the generosity of the sons and daughters of Washington County. We will continue to help our donors give back to our community through our foundation and improve the quality of life in our county.
Work ahead of them if they want to pick up their second win. Senators looking to go to 1-1, and that's a quick way to do it. As Tyler Gerker answers with a triple, his second of the night, and that's only his second field goal as well. Make it 41-33. Senators nothing on that possession to write home about, as Marksberry has it, and underneath gives it off to Norton, who is wide open underneath. Give him 5 in the period and 12 now in the game, and that's 5 quick ones out of that timeout, and just like that, it's 41-35. Underneath, back to Jake Strange, misses, gets his own rebound, padding those stats. That's a little MJ stat padding there from back in the day.
So I was just getting ready to say, we can't relax with an 11-point lead because these guys do shoot the three well. So, and just like that, but that was a good answer by Jake.
43-35. Lawson Woods back into the game for the Cougars. Over in the corner, nowhere to go with it. Gerker in trouble, gave it off to Hackman. A shove off there into the gut. Little forearm for Chase Farmer. Turnover for the Cougars. And then a wild series ball ping-pongs around. Turnover for West Washington. There's 6. Then Mike McBride all over this crew. And now we'll have a foul at the other end to try to appease this rowdy crowd from Trinity Lutheran. Michael McBride still in the face of the officials, and he just got a foul call. Wanted a chase for riding the hobby horse, if you will, on the other end after he couldn't stop his momentum.
Yeah, it's Holden kind of lost his footing, so he had to throw it up.
Second personal of the half for West Washington. Jake Strange picks up his first. It's a 2:02 mark. Chase will have a seat. Bryce Brown, the 6-foot junior, in for him. So it's Brown, Bousman, Green out there with Strange and Sanford in the front court. 43-36. First free throw was good for Woods. His first point of the night. And the second one off the mark, no good. Rebound fought for. And Harrison undercut in the corner. It's going to come off to Marksberry. His shot blocked and missed by Holden. And Holden will push to the other end and try to leave it off for Brown, who had it poked away. And it's going to be last touch by Brown, they say. So the pace starting to get a little frantic here at the end of the third.
Kind of struggling with keeping up with the stats here.
And at 47 and counting here in the third. Senators not out of the woods just yet. Can't get complacent. 43-36 because this group is scrappy. Rowe with it to Hackman. He'll screen across and try to free up Gerker, Reggie Miller style. Can't get it, but a nice give and go underneath. And how about that? The freshman, silky smooth, gets it on the cut. 7 for him in the period, 14 in the game for Hudson Norton. Make it 43-38 underneath. Nice find, and Jake can't finish off the window.
Yeah,
he'll go back to the free throw line.
Their crowd's kind of saying no, but when you hit a guy on the arm as he's going up, that's a foul.
That one's going to go on Marksberry. That'll be Marksberry's third. Team foul number 3. Senators have committed 2. Nash Huff to check in after this first free throw as Jake rattles at home. Big third quarter for the big dog as Harrison will get a breather. So the 2 seniors catching a quick break here at the end of the period. Sanford and Farmer on the bench. And it's a slew of juniors on the floor. Bousman, Green, Strange, Huff, and Brown. 70 seconds to play here in the third. Jake got 1 of 2 to go, 44-38. And it's going to be knocked out of bounds on this end. And Trinity Lutheran will reset in front of their own bench. 1:03 to play in the third. Trying to inbound. Hackman gets it into Marksberry. You had it poked away from behind. Quick hands again for Holden. Turnover number 10 of the night for the Cougars. 4 in this period alone. Huff with it, left side, leaves it off for Jake. He'll skip it cross court to Parker in the corner. One extra pass. Holden 3. Bingo! High bounce and it falls through the bottom of the net. Holden's first points of the period. He's got 16, and it's 47-38. We're coming up on a half minute to play in the third.
Yeah, Holden,
great extra pass, Coach.
He's got, Parker and those guys, that's just coming from playing so long together. But these guys are just, I hope he gets Brown for that.
We'll see here, 26.6 on the clock. Got a reach-in foul. And they are, in fact, going to get Bryce Brown for his, I believe, first one of the night.
What a line for Holden. He's got, what'd you say, 16 points?
16 points.
4 assists, 4 steals, 5 blocks.
Young man's playing some inspired basketball tonight. Under 25 seconds to go. Gerker, high screen out front. And that's going to be the second time tonight that Marksberry's been called for an illegal screen, so it goes as a foul. That's his 4th foul. That's big.
Yep.
Because that's a scoring presence for the Cougars, but also his second illegal screen. That's turnover number 5 of the period, and now the 11th giveaway of the game as the Cougars will come out and try a little run and jump here in the half court. They kick it over cross court. Nash Huff for 3! Nash Huff, the rainbow release, got it to go 50-38. Largest lead of the game at 12, and on the feet ahead, Nash leaves it off for Holden, who can't finish at the buzzer. And that's the way the quarter will come to a close. But what a great, great effort by this group here tonight. 3 quarters down, 1 to go, and if they play this same way in the fourth, that's going to mean a 1-1 record for the Senators heading into next weekend. But they've got to keep the foot on the gas here for the final 8 minutes of play. 50-38 after 3 quarters of play. Senators will try to hold on here through the fourth. We'll step aside, get a word in from one of our sponsors, and we'll come back with fourth quarter action right after this word from Schneck Medical.
New babies, sports physicals, 3D mammograms, primary care, pediatrics, oncology, advanced orthopedics, lung screenings, and surgery. From providing community health services to performing the most innovative procedures, the exceptional doctors, nurses, and staff at Schneck have been caring for friends, families, and neighbors for over 100 years. Schneck, healthy together.
Back we come to the fourth quarter of action as the Senators open up the period with the basketball. Underneath they go to Strange. He'll kick it out. Deep 3. Holden trying to fill it here like he did in the first half. And we've got Harrison down again. And they're going to stop play. No clear breakaway opportunity to score. And it looked like that time he maybe took a forearm or an elbow to the neck. Seems like Harrison always takes those shots. It's the same way with the football. If it wasn't the shoulder giving him fits, he always seemed to take contact from a defender on a route, and it always seemed like it was the old neck chop or poke in the eye, something of that nature.
Nice job, Parker. Yeah, it's because, he's just fearless, and he throws his body into all kinds of traffic. He's not afraid to do it.
Cougars with their 6th turnover of the half, 12th of the game to open up the fourth here. They go back to Parker to Strange on the left block. Could not get the turnaround jumper to go this time as Holden got the near poke away. Jake with the near poke away as well. And these fans back behind us to our right, pretty rowdy as Holden gets the steal anyway. At the other end, leaves it off for Nash. He'll try to take the runner off the glass, but he forgot to put it on the floor first. So turnover number 8 for the Senators. Just 8 turnovers in the game thus far. Only 4 fouls in this half, only 3 fouls in the first half. So all the little things we talked about, like we said in the pregame and at halftime, are staying true right now.
Yeah, and like I said, we're not. I haven't seen a possession yet where we're just real passive on either side. Sometimes you can pick up and get in foul trouble by being passive because that means you're reacting slower and you're not moving your feet.
Gerker with it. Leans it off now on the wing. Lawson Woods with it. Tries to work against Parker. He gives him no space. The freshman, Norton, nowhere to go with it either. Gives it back to Woods. Tries the nifty behind the back. But again, it's Holden with that poke away. You cannot make that move right in front of him.
In front of him. His arms are so long. And obviously, physically, you have to have the tools, but he's so smart. He knows what they're doing. So it's amazing. That is his 6th steal of the night.
By the way, Michael Lopp, a 5'8" junior, back into the ball game as well with Bousman, Strange, Green, and Farmer and Jake on the turnaround will be fouled. This one will go on Josh Rowe. Team foul number 6 of the half. Next one will keep the Senators shooting free throws the rest of the way as Jake goes back to the stripe. And that is the 3rd, by the way, on Josh Rowe. First free throw is up and no good for Jake, who had the monster 3rd quarter of play. He had 5 field goals from 2-point range, couple of free throws, so big stat line for the big dog as well here tonight to go along with Holden's big night of scoring as Jake gets 1 of 2. Make it now 51-38.
Yeah, if you can string together a few stops here, then you can kind of make things comfortable for yourself.
Nice dribble drive take on the left side by Hackman as he now has 8 in the contest. Make it 51-40. To an 11-point game. Holden into the front court now. Lays it off for Lopp, right side. Uses up the dribble, gives it off to Green. Same song and dance. This time Strange, though, on the kick out. They try to get a 3 ball to go, can't get it. Farmer again throwing his body around like his senior counterpart. He can't get the putback, but he gets the offensive board. And it draws the 7th team foul on the Cougars.
On the line, 1 bonus will be 11.
5:54 to go in this one. 51-40. Senators in front by 11. That foul on Gerker, his 2nd. I'm actually going to say that Holden was the one fouled, although Chase come up with the big opportunity to help extend that possession.
Yeah, he got the offense. Holden tried to top the key 3. Farmer with the offensive board. Couldn't get it go, and then another offensive board by Holden, and he got the foul.
Holden much sharper from the free throw line as well, a place where he kind of struggled last year from not only the 3-point line, but also from the free throw line. 5:45 and counting, 53-40. 3 ball on the way, will not go for Rowe. Parker clears it out, and on the leak out, Michael Lopp is going to be fouled. Missed the layup. Holden there to follow it. But they're going to get a whistle and a foul, and that'll send the junior Michael Lopp to the free throw line. Nice leak out and nice vision again by Parker Green.
Right, yeah, he's having a much better game tonight. I mean, they're just more relaxed, and that's what I like to see. When you're relaxed, you play a little freer, play a little smarter. You're a little short on that free throw.
Yeah, Michael Lopp not bringing the knees or the legs, didn't get extension and finish up on the toes, all the little things you got to do mechanically. That one looks a little bit better, but a little bit long with the rotation. 0 for 2 on that trip. 5.5 to go in regulation. 53-40, and a nice dribble drive blow by for Tyler Gerker. He's got 5.5, 11 now in the game as he slides into double figures. 53-42. We will have a timeout on the floor, and it's a timeout for the Cougars. It's a 30-second timeout. Again, we want to remind you guys to stick around after the game for our Ace Hardware of Salem Senator post-game show. We'll bring you all the scoring and stats from this one, as well as a word from our post-game sponsor, Ace Hardware of Salem. Be sure to stop in and check out their holiday deals and their December bargains of the month. We'll also get a word from Coach Sullivan on tonight's game, and then we'll also preview next weekend's First Harrison Bank holiday tourney down at Borden. Should be a good one. Salem and Eastern will start that one off, expecting a monster crowd, of course, and then Salem trying to defend their title. We'll see what happens, but the Senators, I'm sure, will have something to say about that. But they've got their work cut out for them because they'll have Doc Nash's ball club in the nightcap.
Yeah, it should be a really good tournament, like it always is. Very quality teams there. They said Borden's much better than they were last year, getting some guys from injury, and they had all kinds of injury trouble last year. A couple guys sick, and Eastern returned some shooters. Obviously it's going to be a really nice little two nights of basketball. What was it at? I'm sorry, at quarter break score.
50-38.
50-38.
So a little confusion here on substitution. They tried to send Lawson
The
Woods
sub.
in off the timeout, but they made him sit back down. Officials talk about it. And
On
now
that
it's going to
pressure
be
we
some,
saw in the JV game.
Going to be some full court pressure with Rowe back as the safety. And the Senators working that little V formation. Nice job of breaking the pressure. Sanford's back into the ball game. Starters for the Senators out of the break. And a miss for West Washington means quickly the Cougars come back the other way. 3 ball off the mark, no good for the freshman, and Parker will clear it and slow it down a little bit, under 5 minutes to go. Senators clinging to an 11-point lead.
When it was 11-4, we kind of relaxed just for a couple possessions.
Nice move, nice spin. That was a little Akeem Olajuwon footwork for Jake. Trinity Lutheran wanting a travel. Jake playing so well tonight. 55-42. Nice turnaround jumper for Marksberry. Jack Marksberry. Actually, that's his first field goal of the night.
I noticed that a while ago.
55-44, back to an 11-point game again. And it is a 30-second timeout once more for the Cougars again. We'll not only have post-game wrap-up, we'll preview the holiday tourney coming up. A lot of things going on, but as you mentioned, this will be the only holiday tourney that the Senators will be in. We were in the Springs Valley holiday tourney in between Christmas and New Year's for a few years. Won it 1 year in thrilling fashion, and then last year went over to Scottsburg for their holiday tourney and decided this year, I guess, to take some time off so the boys will get some much-needed time to practice and kind of work out the kinks, because it's going to be a very, very busy January.
It turns out, it's weird how sometimes those things turn out. We with the semi-state run and everything we dealt with before the season, they didn't have the legs that you normally have when you start a basketball season. So now they get a little chance to do some more practicing and actually get a little bit of rest.
Right.
Because you're right, it's going to be a brutal schedule when we get back from the break.
Yeah, I don't know if there's I don't think there's a week in January where there isn't at least 2 games, if not 3 some weeks. Had a couple of games that had to get moved. Salem game got moved to midweek, middle of January, so also got Eastern and Lagodi as well that got moved.
Yeah, it's going to be busy, busy, busy. So it's actually kind of nice to have that little break.
Rowe with it, out top, around to Norton to Marksberry, looking for his second straight basket, and he gets it. Nice little jumper from the free throw line area. Marksberry with back-to-back buckets. Make it 55-46. There's no quit in Trinity Lutheran.
Yeah, they forced a turnover with a tie-up last time with this pressure.
Holden thinks better of it. Leaves it off for Harrison Sanford, who gets to the rack. Can't finish, fighting for his own rebound. He's on the floor again with his senior teammate, Chase Farmer, and there's a tie-up on the floor. And it's going to, I think they're just going to call a tie-up. There's no foul here on the collision underneath. It'll stay with the Senators.
Be nice to get a little score here on this, with this 3:53 to go, up 9. We'd like to kind of maintain that double digit just to make things comfortable coming down the stretch.
Sabotin back into the ball game, the 6'4" sophomore.
This Lutheran team has a ton of experience, so they will not quit.
Farmer, around the horn it goes to Green, to Holden, and he drops another one through. Another triple for Holden, his third from beyond the arc tonight. Coming up on 3.5 minutes to play, make it 58-46, back to a 12-point advantage. 3 ball off the mark, no good for Gerker, and a strong rebound off the defensive glass for the Senators as Parker will walk it up against Marksberry and leave it off now for Harrison. He has room to work. They'll lob it into Jake, and he'll be fouled from behind. And they're going to get, I believe, the young fella Sabotin fresh into the ball game.
Fouls on 23.
That's going to be team foul number 9.
What I've liked tonight too, I mean, we've played really smart basketball for the most part tonight. You know, last night there were some wild passes, wild drive. You know, just kind of those first game things. We've played really nice.
Jake leaves the front end of the bonus hanging on the front of the rim. And then the Senators come up with a steal as Parker will push back the other way, slows it up, leaves it for the trailer Strange, and he'll come back, take it away from Jake. They reset, they go to Jake now in the post, kicks it cross court to Parker, dribble drive, now off the chase. He goes to Holden, he dribbles out of trouble, and the Senators will try to chew on the clock. If they can get a good possession,
grab.
they'll take it. And Jake gets it underneath, and he's been a force to be reckoned with. And when we play that way, and when he plays that strong, we're going to be hard to handle against a lot of teams.
Right, and it starts first and foremost feeding the post, and also him staying on the court.
Right, nice runner though by Hackman that answered at the other end. He's got 10 in the ball game. Full court pressure again for the Cougars, 60-48, coming up on the 2-minute warning in this one. Jake uses up a few dribbles. He'll be trapped in the corner, wrong place to stop. You learned that in Youth League. And it forces Coach Sullivan to take a full timeout. That'll leave him, I believe, with 1 apiece. 2:20 to play in this one. Timeout on the floor. Senators up 60-48. We'll hear from Northwood assistant care, and we'll come back with the rest of this one right after this.
Northwood Retirement Home has been serving the Washington County and Southern Indiana community since 1986. All our rooms are private with ensuite baths. High-speed internet allows everyone to have TVs, phones, and even computers. Bring your own furniture, TV, microwave, and small fridge. Anything that will fit in your room and make it more like home. All our beds are hospital beds for your comfort. Family and friends are welcome whenever they like to visit, and you can come and go as you like. I'll help you get ready for each day, which includes bathing, dressing, and even walking. Northwood assists in care of your medicine, and we're here for you 24 hours a day. For more information, call Leah Spurgeon at 812-888-2578.
To go here in the fourth quarter. Senators holding serve on their home floor in this home opener. Trying to go to 1-1 on the year. They got a little bit of work left to do. 60-48. They have possession of the ball. Parker to inbound in front of the team bench. They'll give it off to Holden. It's a quick run and jump here, trying to trap the ball and force a turnover. Harrison will take it into the paint, have it stripped away. Turnover number 5 of the half, 10th of the game. And to the other end, layup missed by Hackman. It ping-pongs out to Harrison, and Holden will run it down against the freshman. Takes contact, he's fouled. And then a shove and then a technical on the young fella. Harrison come flying in after the foul happened. And when Harrison come flying in, he fell into and ran into the freshman, Hudson Norton. Norton gave him the shove and said, "No thanks, I don't like the contact." And it's Hudson who gets the technical. Hudson Norton rung up. The freshman's played pretty solid tonight. Loses his composure there as he takes a, I'll say, inadvertent shove or a little bit of contact.
Yeah, I was doing I didn't see that.
Harrison come flying in, and the momentum carried him right in to the freshman. He took exception to it. And Norton says, "I don't care if you're a senior or not, I'm not having it." And he shoves him back. And he gets rung up. And then they also had to talk to Harrison, who took exception to the shove. But Harrison does not get rung up. It's Norton instead who takes the technical. And substitution as Lawson Woods will check in for him. This guy can ball a little bit, though.
Yeah, he's got a nice little stroke from downtown.
So Holden got fouled on the breakaway. So he has 2 free throws coming to him already. Double bonus for the Senators. Wouldn't matter. It was a shooting foul anyway. And with the foul and then the technical, that'll do it on the night anyway for the freshman who fouls out. So Holden knocks down the 2 free throws he had coming to him. And now with the technicals, Hits the first. I'll say he shot 5, and he's hit one more than 4. How about that?
There you go. Oh, boy. You almost got him.
Almost put the hex on. 6 for 6 from the line for Holden.
He's
in
actually
this quarter
hit 10
alone.
in a row now. He missed his first of the night.
Yep. 10 out of 11 from the stripe. And as Coach Gibson just said, that's 10 straight. Had the back end of an and one opportunity. 64-48, largest lead of the night for the Senators. And that's 16, and we're going to have a rebounding foul underneath. And this one's going to go on Gerker. Foul number 12 overall in the half, and for Gerker, his third. Sends Jake Strange back to the free throw line. And that one rattles home. Senators have been excellent from the free throw line tonight, too.
Yeah, it's
not just getting there,
right.
but capitalizing
Plenty
for the
of
most part.
opportunities, and they're taking advantage of it. Like I said, when we play like we've played tonight, we're going to be tough to handle.
Jake, not a very good release on that one. Leaves a little bit to be desired. 65-48. And now a sarcastic round of applause from the Trinity Lutheran faithful. Foul goes on Jake Strange, his second of the night. Team foul number 5 of the half. Senators operating with a 17-point cushion and a $1:49 to go in this one. Gerker to the free throw line, 3 of 4 on the night. First one is on the way and long.
He's kind of struggling
Bryce Brown checks into the ball game, and I believe that'll be it for the big dog, Jake Strange. What a night for him, Coach.
Nice night. That's exciting. You have the scoring, but I also have him for 9 rebounds, a couple of blocks.
Gerker hits the second. We're going to have a timeout on the floor. That's all Coach McBride had left. Minute 49 to play in this one. Full timeout. We'll hear from Hoosier Uplands, and we'll come back right after this.
This is Melissa Jeremiah with Hoosier Uplands Home Health Care and Hospice. Our professionals are available at 812-849-4447 to answer any questions that you have regarding home health care or hospice. The following tips will help your holidays be more enjoyable. Plan ahead, accept your limitations, and ask for help when you need it. Also, be flexible. Our family at Hoosier Uplands would like to take this time to wish you a wonderful Christmas.
Back for the finish of this one. Minute 49 to go, and we were adding it up. 25 apiece for Jake and Holden, I believe, both career highs. I will double check that when we have an opportunity after the game. And not sure what we got going on. Maybe some blood on the jersey.
Is that actually technical if you do that? I don't.
Okay, so they're going to sub. I don't know. Parker's got something on his jersey. They give him an extra one. He goes up to the top of the stairs, and he's changing into a different number.
What, is that a rule that you can't do it on the court?
I guess.
I know it is.
Either that or indecent exposure, one or the other.
Well, it is like volleyball. That happened this past year, or this past sectional. Somebody got a, I don't know, we give them like soccer red card or something.
Yeah, there you go. Parker changes into number 22, comes back down the steps, so Coach Sullivan will look to get him in as soon as he can. Holden underneath the Farmer, takes it strong, leaves it short. Brown with an offensive rebound, a second offensive rebound. That one stripped away, though. Turnover number 6 of the half, 11 in the game. 3 ball in the corner, an air ball, Lop with the defensive rebound. And the Senator cheer block across the way, letting him hear about it as Holden now will walk it into the front court. 65 seconds to play. And Holden nearly had it poked away from Gerker. Holden in so sly, Coach. He beat Gerker to the spot, seeing him dive for it, wanting the undercut. couldn't get it. Brandon Fleck, a 6'4"
I think
junior,
he
will
was
check
trying to
in.
draw the foul on it as well. He's
Caden
just
Zink
very
also
crafty.
Zink, a 5'7" sophomore, and Holden Bausman. Great game for him. Again, I believe him and Jake with both career highs. I will check that, as a matter of fact. Coach, I'm going to let you take the driver's seat as we're going to have mass substitutions here so I can see if I've got my facts straight.
Substitution will be number 50, Jacob Long. Number 4.
Mass substitutions as well for the Cougars as their starters will check out. Young pups will come in.
Caleb Williams.
Holden's career high going into the regional last year was 22, so a career high night for Holden. Jake's career high was 21, so in fact,
Needed
both
big
of them.
games from both of them and got them.
Yep. Under a minute to go. Lop with it. It's turned into a JV contest once again, which, by the way, kudos to Ethan Trueblood's group for bouncing back from a tough one. They took on the chin as well last night. JV wins 56-49, so they go to 1-1. The varsity matches. So both clubs 1-1.
Good bounce back.
Yep.
Good bounce back by the Senators.
All the way around.
Yep.
Brown with the pump fake, loses the handle. It goes out of bounds, poked away. It'll stay with the Senators. And Coach Sullivan giving Brown the business down in the corner. 23.8 on the clock. Caden Zink with it, out top. 20 seconds to play.
Boy. He might have.
He's really close to the timeline, but he almost got away with a palm or a carry. Nice feed underneath, lopped the Fleck, blew a chance at a varsity bucket. Brown gets the offensive rebound and he'll be fouled, so Brown with a chance to score again here before the conclusion of this one. He's already got 2 on the night. Brown did a nice job last night on the boards.
Yeah, he did.
And especially in a tough situation to
this
be in.
fourth quarter, he has 3 offensive boards. So, I mean, he's come in both nights, and he's given us some valuable minutes.
Brown misses his first free throw attempt of the night. Went 1 for 3 last night.
Oh, boy.
Boy, he's going to hear about that from his football friends. The linemen are giving him the business across the way in the cheer block. 65-49. Oh, my goodness. 2 seconds, 1, and the time is going to expire on this one.
Block, though.
And the Senators are able to romp the Cougars. 65-49 is the final. A much different team. Jekyll and Hyde reference, if you will, for this opening weekend as the Senators bounce back in a big way, get a win over a possible sectional 62 opponent, and they do it in convincing fashion as the Senators will enjoy this one for a very short time, rest tomorrow, and then 4 days back with their nose to the grindstone because, again, going into the house that Doc Nash built, playing them in the nightcap, that's a rowdy group to go down and have to play against, and it's going to be a loud, raucous environment. You're going to have to hope that mentally they hit the reset button because just like last night, you got to put a bad loss behind you. You also can't rely too much, on a win from tonight.
Right. Yeah, it's like you said, you don't want to let last night. You don't want to let Paoli beat you twice. Well, they didn't. They responded in every category. Checks. They shot better. They played harder. They played more aggressively. But just like you said, you can't let this. You have to forget the wins as well sometimes. I mean, obviously, you want to. What did we do to get this victory? But you're going in. You're facing a weird style with Coach Nash's Borden Braves. So and there's all kinds. It's a very eclectic, if you like that word, group of basketball teams over there. Borden likes to slow it down and carve you up with precision. Eastern has a couple of the shooters back. They want to kind of drain some shots from behind the arc, and Salem, they like to play an overall game, with Coach Brown, and they're very athletic. So, I mean, it's just, we're going to have to be able to be on our game, and luckily we get those, 4 days of practice, and we'll hopefully go down there ready to go. But if we play like this, we're going to have our shots.
I absolutely agree. We're going to step aside, hear from a couple of our sponsors, and we'll come back to begin our Ace Hardware of Salem post-game wrap-up here from the Ron Smith Court. Senators win it in convincing fashion tonight, 65-49 the final. Back with our post
At American Family Insurance, we know your life has many moving parts, from your four wheels to your hard-earned home and the financial future of your family. We'll cover the things that matter most. Bundle your home and auto policies for possible savings and add life insurance for convenient, future-focused protection so you can keep dreaming towards what's next. American Family Mutual Insurance Company, SI, and its operating companies. American Family Life Insurance Company, 6000 American Parkway, Madison, Wisconsin.
For details, contact Rodney Bruff, agent at Rodney S. Bruff Agency Incorporated. Call 812-277-1400 or stop by 1528 L Street in Bedford today.
We're here at McDonald's Gymnasium for tonight's game. It's time to introduce the starting lineup, and the crowd is on their feet and they're going wild. And here comes the new players. We've got the premium quarter pounders coming in tonight, alongside the chicken classic sandwiches. Playing forward tonight, we have got one-of-a-kind McWrap. Guarding your hunger, it looks like we've got McDouble and McChicken coming in. And starting in the center court tonight will be Big Mac. Look on the sideline, folks. We have Chicken McNuggets cheering tonight alongside those golden delicious fries. Hot and always ready. You'll score points every time you bring the family into Salem McDonald's, right here on Main Street, before or after the game. Don't forget to top off your favorite meal with a cold soft drink, that famous Mickey D sweet tea, or something from their full line of smoothies and McCafe coffee drinks. Order inside from 4 a.m. to 11, or get that one-of-a-kind taste 24 hours at the drive-thru. McDonald's, I'm loving it.
To the Ron Smith Court inside the friendly confines to start our Ace Hardware at Salem Senator post-game show. Senators win it tonight, 65-49. Much better taste in the mouth of Coach Sullivan, I'm sure, as he makes his way across the floor than what he left Paoli with from Chambers Gymnasium last night after suffering the 22-point setback. His team kicks it into high gear, and a nice job, well-rounded effort tonight. Two guys with career highs, and I know and he is going to be absolutely thrilled about this. Free throws, 31 attempts on the night. Senators just with 11 turnovers. Just all around great effort, great hustle on both ends of the floor. Basketball's a game of runs. There's going to be lapses at times. There's going to be bad possessions here and there. It's going to happen in 32 minutes, but those were few and far in between this evening compared to last night. As Coach Sullivan's made his way down, let's see if he wants to go ahead and come on up, and we'll let him throw on the headset. Hey, how about it, Coach? As I said, as you was making your way across, I'm sure a little bit better taste in your mouth tonight than from last night. And how about this? Great things all the way around, a lot of things to point out. 11 turnovers, not too bad. 31 attempts at the free throw line. That shows our aggression much better than last night. Two guys with career highs, Holden and Jake with 25 apiece. What a well-rounded night for your ball club. What a bounce back.
Yeah, we talked about it, this Trinity team, they give up a lot of driving opportunities. They like to play behind in the post. So our game plan coming in was be ultra aggressive off the dribble drive, and if they play behind Jake, give him the ball. We really went to the second half trying to feed him and work around him. I thought he did a fantastic job, not only scoring the ball, but at times, facing up, finding guys, skip passes. He had an excellent night, and Holden just being ultra aggressive, knocking down some shots tonight. Yeah, it was a great thing to see.
Obviously, a tale of two nights, and we talked about it, and you spoke about it as well in our pregame conversation, the mentality of this team. And I told Coach Gibson, that for me, that was going to be one of the big things in our pregame that we talked about. I know deep down what this team's made out of, but sometimes they don't always want to show it, and it was going to be big to see the kind of statement they would make early on. What kind of mental composure, what kind of mental toughness would we have after last night? And I think they proved to everybody just how tough they can be mentally and physically.
Yeah, we come out that first quarter, we could tell that had a little rust to knock off, but after that first quarter, man, we got it together. Like you said, mentally, we just focused up, and we took care of business those last 3 quarters. I couldn't be prouder right now.
Really nice run for your ball club. That second quarter, the way it started, it's exactly what the doctor ordered. Coming out of the quarter break, you find yourself down 19-11. You'd played a good first quarter. Couldn't get some early shots to fall. Parker, though, still remained aggressive. Jake still remained aggressive, and it paid off because then you start the second period by forcing 4 straight turnovers, and then you get 2 misses. So 0 for 6 on possessions for the Cougars allows you to go on a nice run, reclaim the lead, and then never look back.
Yeah, Trinity's one of those teams. They're going to make runs. They got a lot of kids that can shoot the ball. And, that first quarter they come out, they're really hot. We didn't do ourselves any favors, gave up some second chance opportunities. But, when we amped up the defense, amped up the pressure, we were catching, we had guys, we were there on the catch. I think it really disrupted what they were trying to do.
Coach, we talk about free throws being a big part of this team's ability to win games. Got to be physical, got to be aggressive. Get to the rack, get to the free throw line. You get there 31 times. Now, I know 18 makes out of 31. You want to clean up, but the good news is you're able to kind of check that little thing off the checklist from tonight that a lot of coaches like to see. You made more than the other team attempted. They only get 10 attempts on the night.
Yeah, that's going to be the staple of this team. We're big, strong, athletic. We've got to be aggressive. We've got to be aggressive in everything we do. We're not a team that comes down and 1-2 pass, shoots a 3. We want to find our way into the lane, and then we'll work our way out from there. Whether it's Jake giving him the ball, letting them start to collapse on him, then we get those kickouts. Or it's, we're driving to the paint and we're drawing a crowd, and then we get our kick-out 3s. So as long as we keep that mentality of being aggressive and working our way inside out, I think good things are to come.
And maybe it's just going to be one of those situations where you've got a lot of scoring talent and ability on this team, and it may just be by committee. It may just be luck of the draw on any night because it's Holden and Parker who struggle. Harrison in a big win tonight does so many great things and doesn't even have to score a point.
Yeah, that's the good thing about this team. We got a lot of guys that can put it in the hole. Any given night, it could be one of those guys, any of those 4 guys that we talked about. Hopefully some nights it's all 4 of them. I'd love to get where we can get all 4 of those guys averaging double figures. That's something we're definitely going to try and work towards.
And you see the good and the bad in 2 nights. And for me, I think it's important for guys like Brown, Lopp, and Huff, especially Lopp and Huff coming in, kind of splitting right now JV and varsity time. They were able to come in and play some critical minutes again, but not with their feet held to the fire like last night.
Yeah, it's getting their feet wet is what we're trying to do. This is new to them still. So the speed of a varsity game, just the physicality of it, we're trying to work those guys in slowly. But I'll be honest, I was really proud of the way they came in tonight, and they did exactly what we need them to do. They took care of the basketball for the most part. They didn't let their man, go off. And we're going to need that. We need to get some guys some breathers every now and again, and I think those guys, as the season goes along, they're going to be huge for us.
Before we let you go, Coach, to enjoy this one tonight, you got 4 days to prepare now for a holiday tourney, which I think we're in the running for to do some big things next weekend. But you're going to see, as Coach alluded to earlier in the broadcast, a variety of styles. And the first one you're going to see out of the gate is Doc Nash, who likes to take the air out of the ball. And if he can shorten a game and shorten possessions, he's going to try to do it. So how do you prepare for this holiday tourney and specifically for Borden over these next 4 days of practice?
Well, Doc's a very smart coach. He's going to get this film and he's going to look, and I know he's going to try and pack the paint on us and make us beat them, from outside, and that's fine. We'll adjust and we'll continue to work through and do what we do. But it's going to be an electric atmosphere. It's probably going to be the biggest gym, the most packed gym that we'll be in until probably sectional time, with all 4 schools in there. So I'm excited. I know the boys are excited. we're just going to come out and play, and we'll see what happens.
All right, hey, great job on the win tonight. Great bounce back. We look forward to talking to you prior to the tip on Friday.
Thank you.
Coach Sullivan's team victorious here tonight, 65-49. The final, let's go ahead and take a look at some of the individual scoring from tonight's contest. First for Trinity Lutheran, they now fall to 1-5 on the season here early on. 0-2 this weekend. They lost again at home last night to Southwestern Shelbyville, and then here tonight. So a couple of tough ones for them this weekend. Falling to 1-5, they get three players in double figures. Hudson Norton, the freshman, leads the way with 14 tonight, but he was dismissed on disqualification with foul troubles, and the technical topped off his night. But 14 points for him. He'd been solid up to that point, but all of his come in the first and third quarters of play. Tyler Gerker averaging nearly 19 a game coming in. He chips in 12 on the evening. Mitchell Hackman with 10 on a couple of makes from two-point range and 2 from downtown. From there, Josh Rowe and Jack Marksberry chip in a combined 12. Rowe with 8, Marksberry with 4. Off the bench, Jacob Sabotin and Lawson Woods play a majority of the minutes. Sabotin scoreless, and Lawson Woods chips in 1 for a 49-point total. The Cougars go just 5 of 10 from the stripe on the night for 50%. They turn it over 15 times, 9 of those 15 coming in the second half of play. Meanwhile, for the Senators, now 1-1 on the year as they look forward to holiday tourney time next weekend. They get a lot of momentum, like we said, that they needed. 25 points, a career high for Jake Strange, and a career high 25 for Holden Bousman to help pave the way here this evening. 9 for Parker Green, in a more aggressive effort here tonight than what we saw last night against the Rams. Harrison Sanford goes scoreless in the win, but done a lot of other great things, and Chase Farmer chips in 1 on 1 of 2 from the free throw line. Bryce Brown, Nash Huff, Michael Lopp, Caden Zink, and Brandon Fleck all see minutes in action in this one. Fleck, Zink, Lopp all go scoreless. Huff chips in 3 on a 3-point make in the third quarter, and Bryce Brown chips in 2 and was 0 of 2 from the free throw line for 65 points total. The Senators go 18 of 31, again making more than what Trinity Lutheran attempted as a team. 18 of 31 for 58% after going 8 of 12 in that